Welcome. Welcome to the Erich von Cartmann Show. I'm your host, Erich von Cartmann. So in this episode of the Von Cartmann Show, we're going to talk about these hoes right here. Oh, by the way, hoe is a Hakka Chinese word. It could be used as a noun, adjective, or verb. It means quality. So these quality girls right here. But I'm going to say hoe for short, okay? So we're going to talk about how you maintain the hose, how you properly store the hose. That's number 2. Your first 600-mile maintenance, which includes oil change, how to perform that, all the chemicals you need, and all the tools you need to just do a basic maintenance. So let's talk about storage, right? Let's talk about storage. As you can see, I have her on stands. Now, motorcycle tires are not that durable like car tires, especially if you have a off-road vehicle tires that could last like 50 years. These, you gotta store them a certain way. You wanna store the bike on carpet, a rug, inside the house would be the best. Like I store my hose inside the house. Or put it on stands because you develop flat spots super easy. Not just that, but cement absorbs moisture, right? So you want to keep them on carpet or inside the house or on stands. I have it on stands, okay? Another thing you should do, you should keep the fluids moving her, right? Like even if it's winter and you can't ride, right? All you need to do is put her on the stand, you know, turn on the ignition, start her up, put her in first gear. Oops, kickstand was down. See? Put her in first gear. You see the wheels spinning, right? See the wheels spinning? Play with the throttle a little bit. Just let her run for about, I don't know, about 2 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Get the lube going. See how the chain is moving up and down like that? So you can observe it. That's good chain tension. That's good chain tension right there. Now that's proper chain tension. Okay, so, if it flaps too much, it's not good. Right? And if it's not flapping enough, it's not good either. So, that's a part of the 600-mile maintenance. You gotta make sure you have proper chain tension. Okay, I put it back in neutral so wheels stop. So, just let it run for about 5 minutes. So that's what you do. That's what you do during the winter, okay? So during the winter, that's how you keep her fresh. You got to make sure these hose you got to ride them, mount and ride them every at least every month. I like to do it every week. All the things, the letters are going to be backwards because this is a selfie camera. I got to make sure. So first thing first, you got to have stands. You got to ride them a lot, at least once a week. So when you're working on these hose, you want to make sure you're properly hydrated. Because if you're properly hydrated, you don't want to be overhydrated, okay? If you're properly hydrated, you will be more patient. You take your time more, right? And you methodically go through stuff easier. If you're high strung and not hydrated enough, you're going to get upset really easy whenever you're working on these hoses. Another thing too is you don't want to be overhydrated. You don't want to get sloppy. You don't want to accidentally prop her over, do anything dumb. All right, let's talk about the tools we need. Here, I'm gonna back up a little bit. All right, let's talk about the tools we need. Okay, first off, a bench. This little bench here is great. You know, an old man like me, you know, I don't want to be squatting too much. Gotta have some moving mats. I use this one as a knee pad whenever I gotta get on my knees. You know, I know a lot of you people are used to being operating on your knees. Not old man Eric. Nope, nope. Okay, so you need that. I like to carry a lot of these rugs here, right? I mean, so I can put all my gear, all my stuff, see, like the lower fairing on the rugs. All right. So you gotta carry a purse, all the tools you need. So let me show you what tools I have in here. I have rubber gloves, right? You should buy as thick rubber gloves as possible, because you can reuse them, you know? You just take them off, you know, peel them off, and if you gotta reuse them, just go the opposite way, blow in. Ooh. Oh man, I got respiratory issues. Gulf War syndrome. See? And then when you use rubber gloves, you wanna make sure you roll down all the fingers so they don't rip. You can go 2 layers too if you're ripping more gloves. Make sure you buy the right size, right? So for me, I'm pretty much universal medium most of the time. Sometimes my tops are large. I think the clothes shrunk or I got fatter. Don't know. So yeah, that's how you use the rubber gloves. You just peel them off and you can reuse them. You know, they're oily, just wash them. Just go under the sink. Okay, so rubber gloves. Let me get the second set of carpet out here so I can lay all my stuff out. Okay. All right, when you're working around bolts and stuff, you should have your mechanic gloves. That way you save your knuckles. Not just that, it looks cool. It looks cool when you're working on your bike, when people pass by. Man, you talk about posing as a mechanic. Nothing like posing as a mechanic with mechanic gloves, right? So you can't get these too oily, okay? But they do wash off the oil, right? Just use car wash soap. All right, so you need mechanic gloves. You might not think so, but you always need a light source available. I bought a bunch of these from Costco. They stand up by themselves. See, and they even flash a bright red. You know, so when you're working on her, she thinks like she's in the disco. We didn't change the oil filter today, but I like K&N filters because they have just a standard socket wrench you could use to remove it. Now the Honda oil filters, you're gonna need a socket for the Honda oil filter, and it just takes a standard 3/8 drive. This works for Honda cars, Honda motorcycles, Yamaha motorcycles. What else? Oh, Nissan Titan. It worked for my Nissan Titan also. So you're gonna need one of these. Always good to have a mallet around that for stuff so you don't break. I like to carry all my crescent wrenches in there. So for the fairing, the only thing I need is, I think 5 millimeter, 4 millimeter Allen wrenches. All right. Let's see what else I have. I always carry a razor blade in my purse here. Now this stuff looks kind of gay when you're carrying a couple purses to your bike, but sometimes you have to be gay to get shit done. You know what I mean? Mini screwdrivers. I like the scrub brush. You could buy a bunch of these. This is good for cleaning the chain or just scrubbing things off. It's plastic bristles, but it's hard plastic, right? So yeah, this is in my purse. the other thing here is a Winco grocery bag. You could reuse it for groceries or for supplies. So to change the oil, I normally carry this in here. It's a magnetic tray. As you can see, I have all my screws in there. See the screw stick? Oop. It sticks magnetically, see? I also have the plastic grommets I took off. Man, my nose is running. You know, last video, my nose was running a lot. At least it's not running as much now. I did trim my nose hair today, so at least I did that. My nose hair grows fast, man. Don't know what it is. I guess fast to grow. Always have blue paper towels. Always keep the plastic stuff so you can recover it, you know. Honda HP 45 1030 full synthetic 4-stroke oil. You only need 3 quarts. These are all empty, except for this one. This one I have 200 milliliters left, because when I found out I didn't change the filter because I'm only doing a 600 mile maintenance, but I'm doing it at 500 miles. We'll talk more about how to change the oil soon. You need some good detailer for the plastic. Another thing I love is this WD-40 degreaser. So when you get like oil, hard to remove grease on your plastic, this stuff will take it off with some elbow grease without damaging the paint. Spray bottle for this. Chain wax. Now when you're waxing the chain, the only thing you really is lubing the O-ring. So I use this stuff to clean the chain with that plastic brush. So sometimes you're gonna find scratches that you didn't expect. New Finish with elbow grease will take out those scratches. Now if New Finish don't work, use old school turtle wax, like back from the 1959, 60s. They still sell that at the auto parts store. Brake cleaner, always buy non-chlorinated. It doesn't mess with rubber or the paint. Non-chlorinated brake cleaner. You're gonna clean your rotors and your brake pads with these. Just spray it liberally. All right, let's go over the oil change. Oh yeah, first thing first, you gotta take off the lower, right? As you can see, I have this on carpet because I don't like any of my tools or any of the parts of my hose to be hitting concrete, right? So I have her all clean. You're gonna need to take off all these 4mm Allen screws. Then you also gotta take 4 on the very top, right from the top. So this slides under the top part. This slides under right here, right? So you gotta take off those 4 right there. That one. And then there's a catcher. There's a little catch here. There's like 4, where is it? Oh yeah, these right here, these holes right there. See those holes? Those belong to grommets. There's a female end and a male end. To take off the male end, a short Phillips screwdriver, which I have in my bitch bag or my bitch purse. All right, just a Phillips screwdriver will take that off. You gotta have it short because, like this long, because there's not a lot of space there, right? Yeah, so that's how you take off the lower. Now, once you take off the lower, you can be exposed. Here, let me walk around here. Can you guys see? Grabbing my moving mat or knee pad, right? Let me back it up a little bit so you can see. See, so I have all my tools and rags here. I'm getting ready to scrub down the chain. So the tools can hit cardboard. Don't need cardboard for the tools, but I don't like my tools to hit concrete. I don't even like my rags to hit concrete when I'm about to use them. You're gonna need like an old cup for your drain, your what do you call it? Shit, my mind's going blank. So when you change the oil, this is the filler plug. Got to make sure that O-ring is on the filler plug, okay? Sometimes it gets stuck to the bottom. Believe it or not, it gets grimy also, so you got to clean it. Now, I change the filter. Generally, when I was racing, my racing days, I used to change the filter every I don't know, 1,500 miles. But I used to change my oil every 200 miles because, you know, these 600s are high revving engines. They are big bore and short stroke. So their RPMs are really high. This one redlines at 17,000 RPMs. You got to keep the revs up on the 600 because that's where the horsepower is at. Once you get it below 10,000, it's weak, right? So you got to keep them above 10,000 to go anywhere. But there's nothing funner than riding a 600 because you keep them right, you know, they're so fun on the racetrack. But you got to have it, the harder the ride, because you know, with a R1, you could just leave it in second gear. And that will get you by the whole racetrack. Let me see, third gear could get you by. Because the R1 still pulls on third gear. You know, R1 or a 1000 cc. But these 600s, man, you got to keep them above 10,000 RPMs. So that's how the frequency of my oil changed. A plug, there's going to be a washer. The washer is actually a gasket. So once you could reuse the same washer, but when you reuse the same one, like after the 5th time, you should check for oil leaks. If it's leaking oil, you need a new gasket. Some people change it every other oil change. I've never done it every oil change. Besides, you can flip the gasket the opposite way so it seals the opposite way. So you can do it every other oil change and it'll be like brand new. But I don't do that. I just reuse it, look for leaks. You saw me start up my bike. There's a, you can't see it right here, but there's a glass tube. It is just below the max fill line. So I started up, the bike settled, and now it's just below the max fill line. So you fill the oil, the 600 takes almost 3 quarts. Wait, are these quarts? Yeah, so those are quarts. So it takes almost 3 quarts. I'm like about, let me see. Almost 3 quarts. But again, I didn't remove the filter either. So it will take a little bit more if I remove the filter. So I still have about, so this is 32 ounces, this container. I have about 8 ounces left. Roughly 8, 9, 10. About 9.5. I got about 9.5 ounces left. But that's enough because I'm almost to the fill line. Right? If you change the filter, get some aluminum foil because the filter's right here. As you can see, there's no space, so that's why you need a socket. You need a special socket. You need a special a short socket wrench. You got to cover this with aluminum foil because the oil will drip on your headers. These things are called headers, right? And it's fine if it does. It's just gonna burn and smoke up, you know. So the bike looks like it's on fire or stuff. But too much oil is not good because the bike will catch on fire, right? So you can wipe it down or just use aluminum foil so it spills right on the foil. Just wrap this whole thing up with aluminum foil. Let's see what else. So I talked about the chain, the oil. You want to check all your bolts to make sure they are properly, like, the bolts should be there, right? It's a 600-mile oil change, but you know, these bikes do vibrate a lot, so bolts can work loose. But But the way I feel, they know the bike is going to vibrate a lot. Honda knows, so they should properly torque it, right? So you got to properly torque all these bolts before they ship them out. And Honda is pretty good with that, right? So that 10 millimeter socket and socket, a 3/8 socket drive wrench to remove the drain plug. Right there's the fill plug, drain plug. I talked about cleaning the rotors. You want to liberally spray the rotors inside and outside. You can put a towel there so you don't get on your rims and tires. But again, I use non-chlorinated brake cleaner, so it shouldn't affect it. But you know, just to be safe, just put a towel right over your wheels. You're gonna clean the brake pads. Liberally spray in here. The brake pads inside, both front and rear. Now, the rear only has one piston and one 220 millimeter disc. The front has, I forgot, I think it's 330 millimeters. Yeah, I don't know. So it has two 330 millimeters, and they have four pistons. They have 4 pistons per side. So there's 8 pistons total for the brake pads, or the brake calipers, right? Let me see. Yeah, so I think I went over the 600 mile oil. Check all your fluid levels. This is the water here. Check your brake fluid is good. You know, make sure everything's working properly. Check for leaks in the seals. You know, it's 600, it shouldn't be leaking, but you never know. These bikes, they come with a 1-year warranty, so ride it as much as you can that first year, you know, to get the most out of your warranty. Yep, that's it. You know, 600 mile oil change. So that concludes this episode of the Von Cartmann Show. So I will say this, right? Let me see, right here. I don't know how much they charge to do this these days, but it's so easy to do yourself. And when you do it yourself, not only do you get the satisfaction, you get the QC aspect. You know it's done right when you do it yourself. All right? All right, gentlemen, Cartmann out. This one is 22 minutes long. Wow.